Hello there, this is Mr. Steffen, and this is Foundations of Technology. And if you're not in Foundations of Technology, you might want to go watch another video. Today we're going to be talking about problem solving. Problem solving is exciting. Everybody does problem solving on their own. When you run out of toothpaste in the morning, you have to figure out how to get more. That's solving a problem. We're going to define problem solving as something that is used to satisfy people's technological needs and wants. In our scenario, Water 4 has realized that there's a need and want for people to have clean water in the world. And they've developed different technologies to meet these needs. I have a short video next that is going to describe this more in depth.
Humanitarian aid in the developing world has been going on for 100 years. And the model has been go raise some money, go get a big mechanized rig, and bring it in, move the villagers aside. Okay, get out of the way, the rig's coming in. We've raised our $10,000. You guys move aside, get out of the way, we're going to drill this well for you. Obviously, we need that. That is a great service, and it has to be there. But when that rig pulls out, and everybody's happy, and 6 months later, an O-ring goes out on that pump that's down there 300 feet. They're done. Instead of us saying, hey, we're here to drill a well for you, you guys get back. We say, hey, we're here to drill a well and train you, come on. Water 4 goes into an area and identifies an NGO, a non-governmental organization that is helping communities, either with food or agriculture or water, whatever it may be. And we go in and we train their leadership so they can go train the locals how to drill water wells by their own. We've come up with a hand pump that can be built in Africa. We've come up with hand drilling tools that we can drill down to 150 foot to install borehole, is what they call it over there. With this training that we offer, when we leave behind the tools, and they have a ready-made business by teaching a group to drill water wells instead of giving them a water well. It gives them a job, it gives them purpose, it gives them motivation, and it gives entire regions clean water, all in the same package. We don't do charity at Water 4, we do opportunity.
That's very exciting to me, and I hope that's very exciting to you. There's people in the world that are problem-solving skills to help other people, and I think that's very worthwhile, and I hope that after you learn strategies to solve problems, you can do the same thing. So moving on, there's problems that need to be solved. In the technology world, we need to develop tools, machines, and systems to solve these problems. An example of this is this Morse code or telegraph machine. And hundreds of years ago, people, if they wanted to communicate over the ocean, they had to put a letter on a ship, send it over, and then 6 months later, people got it. That was slow. So they invented the telegraph in the Morse code machines. Those didn't send your voice over, so that was still a problem. And somebody invented the telephone. That was better. Well, then somebody invented the telephone wire system, so people would actually use the telephone. And then the satellites came along, so now we can communicate all over the world using photographs, videos, all kinds of things. So you can see the different systems and tools that have been used. So with Water 4, some of the tools they developed were the hand drill system. They had developed this so people wouldn't have to spend the $10,000 on the truck every time they needed a hole drilled. And they also developed a system of people training other people, because of if you only have one person who knows how to run the pump, then if that person goes away, something happens to them, then nobody knows how to use the system. So this system allows exponential growth to happen so people all over the world can use put these wells in. So those are tools and systems. Next, there's opportunities for improvement. So say you have this coffee pot, it boils the water, it's been used for hundreds of years, and then you have this coffee pot. The Mr. Coffee on the right here, it doesn't, it's not a new system. It does the same thing as this old blue one. It's just improved upon. It's faster, it has a clock on it, it has a timer. So nothing was invented, it was just improved upon. And so we see that with Water 4. We see that there was already a truck and there's a system for digging holes. So Water 4 did not invent digging holes in the ground. They just improved upon the system that was there and fit it to the people and the needs of the people they were trying to serve. Then if you look at the well was not invented by Water 4. They just improved upon it so it wouldn't break as easy and so that it could be moved anywhere in the world. So not every problem involves creating or inventing new technology. Sometimes it's improving upon what is already there. So as you can see, a company like Water 4 has to take very strategic steps in order to solve their problem of water, getting water to people and developing a water pump system. And you're going to have to learn these steps, and it's important to just develop these and remember these steps for in all kinds of problems you have. The first step is identify the problem. Then we're going to develop solutions. Then we're going to evaluate solutions, and then we're going to communicate the solutions. I'll say these again. Identify the problem, develop solutions, evaluate solutions, and communicate solutions. These are going to be important. They're on your quiz. We're going to go more in depth on these right now. So identifying the problem. You have to describe the situation. You have to gather background information. And you have to establish criteria and constraints. Describing the situation, you have to be able to describe why this is a problem. Why is it a problem that people around the world don't have water? You have to be able to describe that. You have to understand and tell people why it's a problem. You have to gather background information. You have to be able to understand who has tried this, solved this problem before. Has it worked? Has it not worked? And then you have to establish criteria and constraints. You have to know your limits. You might not have enough money to do every solution you want to do. The government you're working with might not let you do certain things. You have to know these criteria and constraints. And when we look at Water 4, we see that researching historical methods. This is a Da Vinci drawing that the Water 4 company researched before they built their pump. They realized other people have tried to make this. We don't need to reinvent everything. We can use other people's ideas. And then they established that this is actually a problem. There are people dying all over the world. This is something that is worthy of being sought after. And then they set up their criteria and constraints. You can see here they established for what we want to do, we need our pump to do this. We need it to raise water 80 feet. We need to eliminate O-rings so they don't break. So they established their criteria and constraints for themselves so they could be more focused about solving the problem. In developing solutions, you need to develop possible solutions. This is brainstorming. Then you need to isolate and refine the best solution. Then you need to do sketches and drawings. First, developing possible solutions. This is done in a group, and you want to get all the different people, different ideas, different personalities together to throw all their ideas into a hat and come up with as many as you can. Because no problem has ever been solved with just one person. It's always groups of people. And then you want to take all those ideas and say which one is the best. We want to kick out the bad ideas and keep the better ones, and then eventually choose one. And then we want to start sketching and drawing, visualizing our idea and putting it onto paper for others to see. And these are example of sketches Water 4 sent me, different pumps and ideas they had. And then just for fun, I Googled hand water pumps. I came up with 4,600,000 results. Just so you know, there are other people that have probably tried your idea. It's helpful if you see what they have tried, what doesn't work, and what does work. It'll save you a lot of time. Then evaluating solutions. Model and test the best solutions. Select the best solutions. Compare solutions to economic, technical, productions, and constraints. So, model and test the best solutions. Example of this. When NASA went to the moon for the first time, they could not test putting an astronaut on the moon before they went there. They had to create simulators. If you're going to build a bridge across the canyon, you can't build a practice bridge across that canyon. You have to build models and simulations. And then after those models and simulations, you'll probably find out some of those are not feasible. So you're going to select the best solution out of your models and tests. And then you're going to compare these to the economy you're going to solve this problem in. Say in Africa, if you're going to build a pump out of some special type of metal that's not available in that country, then that's probably not the best solution. And then if a product you're going to build is going to be too expensive to build in that country or ship to that country, you might have to think of a different solution. So you have to think about all these different criteria and things surrounding your project. And we look at this picture again, can be manufactured in country. Not every product or idea can be manufactured in Kenya. That's just the way it is. They don't have all the systems all the other countries do, and needs to ship in 2 months. Can you get your product around the world in 2 months if it's going to be created in another country? You have to think about these things. And communicating solutions. If you can't communicate your solutions to people, then nobody is going to fund or accept your ideas. You have to be a great communicator, and this means on paper and verbally. So want to interpret the solutions through engineering drawings like you're going to do on AutoCAD, bill of materials, your budget, and spec sheets. You have to be very detailed in telling people exactly what you're going to do to solve this problem, how much it's going to cost them, and how long it's going to take. And then presenting solutions for approval through written and oral reports. You have to be a great speaker. If any of you ever seen the show Shark Tank, the people presenting their ideas on that show are great communicators. They have great ideas, but if they don't communicate them well, nobody's going to fund their ideas. And so here we have examples of engineering drawings for the pumps, the water pumps Water 4 made. And they sent me these for purposes like this, so you could see that there's a lot of detail that goes into making a project, solving a problem before we actually get to solving the problem. And so that's problem solving for today. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it's excited you about the possibility of not just solving problems, but helping people all over the world through your problem solving.